Incredible. All right, so what can Secret do to prevent this early pop-off? What's their best bet?
I really do think it's holding their tier 1 towers. You got Mag, you got Terrorblade. You just need space on the map to farm. But we saw the collapse Armlet Mars. We have the Jakiro coming into play. I think that's the best way they could do
it. Prepare for battle.
Standing there with Team Spirit's coach. Tell us about their draft.
Prepare for battle.
Dude, I love this game so much, man.
Thank you very much. Slack Secret versus Team Spirit, game 1 of this lower bracket finals of TI10. Cinderin, welcome. Surprised to see you here.
Yeah.
What's up?
Just a surprise to see you here, if not more. But here we are.
Thank you.
Yeah, this will be a great series, of course. So much on the line here for both teams, and I think, you know, we like to talk a little bit about the mental game in situations like this. I think for Team Spirit, you've kind of exceeded expectations. Teams like those are really dangerous in this position because Team Spirit kind of, in a way, have nothing to lose, right? I think going into the tournament, if you ask them, hey, would you guys want to take 3rd place and not play, they would have said yes in a heartbeat, right? Because it's like, the field is so competitive, and getting that position for their team was already incredible. So now everything is just icing on top, and they're just going further and further in this. It's reminding you of certain runs from previous events at TI, right? Like TI6 with DC, with TI8 OG going the whole way. You know, teams that people didn't necessarily think were even going to make top 8, right? Yeah. And suddenly you find yourself in this position.
To give Team Spirit some credit, like DC, we were picked to be like 12th range. OG, by some people, were picked to be last. Spirit, people thought they would be the middle, probably like 8. I think I picked them 6th coming in because I really like the way that they play. But yeah, you're right. Either way, still the underdog mentality. I'm sure they have that chip on their shoulder. But kind of what the panel has talked about so much before, there's such a young lineup overall that just makes things like really exciting for the future for the Eastern European region in general.
And then on the other side, you have Team Secret, who have kind of, you know, TI has almost been a kryptonite in a way, and it's weird to say because this team has had so many LAN victories across the previous years and have just looked dominant year after year in so many tournaments, and TI has just not been it. Yeah. And I think, I'm trying to remember, I think at TI6 they got 13 to 16, and then they've like taken one step up the ladder every year, and now it looks like finally it could be within reach, and that can be both, you know, can both put some pressure on you that you feel so close, and at the same time probably also a bit of relief that finally this year for Puppey things are just clicking with the squad. Yeah. And they're looking like a very hot contender for even the whole thing. We've got to get through Team Spirit first. And Spirit, like they talked about, have some of their trademark heroes here. We've got Collapse on the Mars. I believe I saw a stat the other day from the Haas on Twitter that Collapse was 6-2 with Mars, and every other player at TI combined was 7-25 outside of him.
It doesn't surprise me. We've talked about
pretty incredible.
This hero has just fallen off so much since the Animajor, except for Team Spirit. I don't know what he does. I mean, buys the armlet.
Well, right now he dies.
From Matu in that disgusting form of his, and the right clicks from Puppey. It looks like it's going to be enough. So first blood goes the way of Team Secret.
Well, taking full advantage of hitting level 2 first here with the ET and Terrorblade combination, getting the reflection as well as Metamorphosis running. And they will take that. It's a nice start for Puppey. In the mid lane, Nisha is going up against Toronto Tokyo, Void Spirit against Storm. I think this is a pretty even lane.
Nisha is doing for Nisha though.
Nisha's been looking incredible in lane. He was also doing great against Nothing to Say in the series yesterday in the upper bracket, the upper bracket finals. I think in many ways, maybe together with Somnus, I think perhaps the standout just 1v1 mid laner of the tournament. Somnus obviously running some incredible stats, but unfortunately their team did not place very well. Yeah. And then finally top lane Zai and Yapstar. This is a classic lane for Secret to play, the Rubik +1, where both heroes have some sort of wave clear. A lot of the time what they're going to do is just push in the wave with Shockwave as well as Fate Bolt, so that they can try to pull hard camp and prevent the enemy team from pulling small. Obviously both camps have been blocked this far. But Miposhka this time is going to leave the big... Wait. It's still inside the camp. Okay, it looked like it wasn't, but it's not going to spawn either.
Well, how about the lineups as a whole? Because Team Secret, they have a lot of team fight. Obviously, the RP, the Earth Splitter, they have a good Roche. Well, not to kill it as fast as some other lineups that we've seen, but good counter Roche potential at the very least with a lot of these heroes.
Yeah, neither team is very good at killing it.
Yeah, that's true.
Their lineup is more teamfight centric, whereas I would say Spirit's lineup can do it to an extent with Arena and Jakiro, as well as Haunt, but their lineup really thrives on more skirmish style play, on splitting the map and then finding picks, because they do have Relocate, Haunt, as well as Storm. It doesn't get much more global than this. Bottom lane.
Yep, telekinesis into the skewer, back into the fray for the tier 1 tower. Miposhka taking heavy damage. Shockwave keeps him at bay again. Yapzor and Zai not able to get a kill there, but you can see that Matu actually finishes off Collapse again. It's going to be a trade though. They actually kill each other, technically speaking. All right,
Collapse got the kill first, so I think he's going to be pretty happy with this.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Getting some more experience, but Matsu is a full level ahead of him as it stands right now, and Puppy as well as Mira have the same experience, so basically a full level advantage for Team Secret in that bottom lane. One of the worst starts I think we've seen in a while for Collapse on that Mars.
Yeah.
So gotta be slightly concerning for him. Keep in mind this matchup in the lane, by the way, the Mars against Terrorblade, it's pretty interesting because Mars, you know, you have one magic damage component in the spear, but everything else you have is physical, and Terrorblade has so much armor. So can definitely stand his ground a lot of the time and fight, and Puppy is just, you know, being a bully as well.
In terms of like the mid to late game scope here, Cinder, how do you like Spectre in a game like this? Obviously, the hero comes online a lot faster than, you know, for people that haven't watched a ton of Dota in the last couple months. Historically speaking, more so a late game hero, but now you kind of get ramped up a little bit sooner thanks to the Ags that I would assume he goes for.
I think it has okay conditions here. I wouldn't say it's an outstanding Spectre game. I think the primary purpose for a large part of the game will be to Haunt, to give Storm vision to jump and kill Rubik or ET. I think that's how Spirit opened up the fights. In terms of just a flat-out team fight structure, Spectre doesn't fare very well against Terrorblade, but that's not what Team Spirit are going for anyway. Bottom lane.
Yeah, Miposhka, Astro Step's going to connect from Nisha. That's going to be an easy kill for Secret here. Bot lane, Mira is still connected with Collapse, who, like you said, off to a little bit slower start. But I mean, if this was any other Mars, like, oh, they're actually doing pretty good. Not too bad. Considering this hero is just so unpicked. Or I guess just the win rate more specifically. Not doing too hot. Matu, 28 and 12 in terms of his actual CS, and then 30 and 8 for Yataro. What are the chances, Cinder, of another rampage for Yataro in this series?
They're not good, I'll say. I think
based on his percentage, pretty good, right?
Team Spirit's chances of winning the game are good, but yeah, Spectre finding a rampage in a game like this would be pretty unexpected. There's just...
That's more not a word, by the way. Puppy getting harassed here. Good effort, though, Cinder. I just had to correct you.
What's that?
Unexpectable is not a word.
It is now.
Okay. Teaching English to the masses, Cinderin.
There's nothing better than inventing words.
I mean, I agree with that.
Yatoro is going to get run a bit at here by Zai and Yapzor, but obviously has already got that level 6, so yeah, he's doing great in the safe lane. He has very good conditions here. I think Secret aren't too phased by it though, because they've also, you know, got what they wanted. Magnus is getting a good start, almost has the Helm of the Dominator here, does Zai. And of course their safe lane counterpart doing well too. And let's not forget Empower for a hero like Terrorblade. Yes, he goes into ranged form when he pops Metamorphosis, but he also has really high base damage. And that means that Empower percentage-based improvement is pretty significant for Terrorblade's ability to win fights.
I mean, it's still obviously really good when he's in melee form too, right? You don't have to pop meta or anything like that. You actually farm at a higher clip than you're used to as a Terrorblade. As Nisha has the haste rune bottled up right now. Toronto Tokyo just trying to push out the wave. And, well, we're going to see Electric Vortex. Toronto Tokyo pressuring a bit, but doesn't have any backup, so likely not to go for a kill here. We'll be getting a D ward, though. And top net worth Nisha, like you said, off to a really good start for him. 600 difference between the mids in terms of just the gold discrepancy here.
Yeah, that kill he found earlier onto the Jakiro definitely adds up. Their CS is roughly the same, but Nisha does have 10 more denies than Toronto Tokyo, so a bit of a level advantage. Aiming for the bottom rune here. Yapzor's come over as well, but Toronto Tokyo still got the rune, actually. Nisha a little bit off the mark with the timing on his Aether Remnant. He's going to be very happy with that on the Storm. Unfortunately for him, it was an illusion rune, so not exactly what you want. You would have loved either a regen or an arcane rune, you would imagine there, or even a haste. Early on could be pretty nice for Storm. Double damage, basically anything else.
True, true. Nisha working on a Yule Scepter for himself. I assume that Toronto Tokyo will end up going for Orchid, but obviously the Yules is going to end up countering that to some degree.
Yeah.
All right, when you can get a Yules and it has multi-purpose, not just for the Dispel, but setting up your own Aether Remnant, just such a good pickup this game. It's
a feel-good item for Void Spirit for sure. Little detail there from Nisha, by the way. I think he's trying to fish for a ward mid. Wonder if he's going to find the one that was placed on his half as a result of that. Storm is perhaps going to make a move. Toronto Tokyo will be farming up the stacks for now. Has the potential to make a move top if he wants to.
Yeah, that is a pretty juicy stack to be taken here. And Toronto Tokyo looks like he's going to get most of it, if not all. No pressure being set here from Team Secret as of yet. Although they do have a two-man smoke on the way towards the top lane here. As Nisha ready to try to get some kills now. Starting to ramp things up. Mira not quite level 6, so can't relocate top as of yet. And we'll see what the tower defense is going to be for Team Spirit, if any. Because we've seen some teams just give this up super early. We've seen a lot of contests, more so than in previous patches.
Zai is kind of baiting Yatoro here to try to go for his creep so that they can get the opener. Yeah, but we'll be spotted out by the illusion here. I think both Yapzor as well as Nisha. Nisha might not have been envisioned yet. He's going to try for it.
Yeah, Yatoro doesn't have mana. He has the wand to be able to haunt successfully. If he really wants to. It's Nisha. All right, there comes Mira. Hooked up with Toronto Tokyo, but Nisha needs to get out. It looks like he'll do so successfully, at least for now. Yatoro continuing to pursue, though. Very hard to catch up to Nisha for sure here, as Toronto Tokyo has the horsey ready to go. Double damage bottled as well, so we'll see if he wants to get active.
That was a multi-purpose mid TP. That was pretty nice.
We have a haunt coming out. Mira looks like he's going to get dropped by Nisha. Yatoro, in the meantime, taking out Puppy. So it's a 1-for-1 on just the supports. Pokoshka in the trees will likely fall next, although Yatoro has something to say about that potentially. Coming in from the downside of the trees here. So they're going for that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, Toronto Tokyo might want to do something here with the DD.
Fine. Yeah, skewer out to safety, but Toronto Tokyo with that double damage. RP onto 2! Beautifully timed from Zai into the Fable. That is going to be a super easy kill of Toronto Tokyo. And now Yatoro not reciprocating the high five at all. Trying to TP out. Oh my god, how much HP did he have? Barely gets out. But still, Secret obviously would have loved to get that kill. Either way, we'll get the Storm Spirit and probably the tier 1 tower to boot.
Great play from Zai, though. I don't think Toronto Tokyo was expecting that RP to come in instantaneously like that, but that just sets things up. You had Yapzor sitting out in the tree line on the left for the extra damage from Fatebolt, and this is something that Secret have played 100,000 times. The Rubik 4. And you can always count on Yapzor to be involved at the right place at the right time. And this is going to put Secret in a very good position right now. 2k gold lead. And effectively not allowing Team Spirit to do what their lineup likes to do at this point in time in the game, right? Like, you ideally want to find some sort of opening with the Storm and then haunt onto it and find these picks, but Secret were kind of dictating the pace. So Storm TP'd mid to defend the tower and take the DD rune. Okay,
Zai. He's going to skewer to safety for now. As Nisha coming from the backside. Looks like they're just going to focus on Maposhka to start things out. Going to be a relatively easy one for Secret to clean up. Mira attempting to TP out, will not be able to do so. Toronto Tokyo on the run with very little mana to speak of. So 2-for-0 here for Secret, but Toronto Tokyo at the very least gets a regen for his troubles. And Collapse, as we can see, has his armlet in toast, and just buys armlet on every single hero, it feels like. And
I mean, every single Mars.
Every single no, he buys it. Oh, that was you that bought on Storm Spirit. My bad, buddy.
Hey, that was ARDM.
Yeah, true.
I started building a Midas and I was like, wait, this game is way too short for Midas. What can I use my Gloves of Haste for?
Yeah.
That
Good
was
choice.
a mistake. I should have just bought Dagon like everyone else. Tryhards in a show match. Well, whatever.
Yeah, Dagon tryhard, no doubt.
It's very good in ARDM in a show match,
I'm
believe
told.
it or not.
Alright, Yatoro
At least I didn't buy like solo. Okay, let's move on.
That's true. That was pretty bad manners for sure. As Collapse in the mid lane now and working toward, I mean, he went for Blink Dagger pretty late, I want to say in the last series, but prioritizing a little bit earlier than what we're used to seeing on him. But still quite a ways away from finishing it, so. But once they get that, they'll have their initiation in addition to the Haunt and Zip-In from Storm.
1500 gold is quite a long time in a game like this, though.
Yeah.
Secret doing such a good job at just pushing out the waves and controlling the flow of the game. Both Matu and Nisha are top net worths. Obviously, the Terrorblade has been largely uncontested, primarily because of, first of all the action in the top half of the map, but also he pushed that mid tower earlier with himself and in Metamorphosis form, forced Storm to TP there to defend that tower and take the DD room, and then he backed off and farmed, and eventually that led to Secret winning the fight top because Storm couldn't connect, and that in turn builds up more space for himself later to just be greedy in the jungle. So, like, just kind of a domino effect that he started himself with a push in mid can make a huge difference. Nice cure from Zai. They're just barely getting out.
Oh, the Zip is stolen from Yapzor. Very annoying to deal with as a Storm Spirit. Nisha, he's going to get initiated by Toronto Tokyo, though. Here comes Zai to try to help out. RP is being faked out here. Toronto Tokyo basically uses most of his mana to try to zip away there. Ends up being somewhat of a stalemate here, but Team Secret still with a pretty decent lead at the 14.5-minute mark.
Yeah, it genuinely just feels like Spirit really wants to kill someone and they just can't. The heroes that are being offered up to them, they don't have the most damage in their lineup if they don't all connect together.
Yeah.
And Secret are very tight-knit when it comes to these team moves that they're making. There's always the protection of the Rubik, of the ET, of the Mag. And it's only going to get easier for them when Zai approaches his Blink Dagger very soon, so looking very good for them. Interestingly, for Spirit, top net worth actually currently the Mars, but
might be in some trouble here. Telekinesis in the midst of all this chaos. He's trying to run away, but Matu is able to get credit for that kill and the tier 1 tower as well. So Team Secret off to quite the good start here. And like you said, Zai not too far away from Blink Dagger. Collapse still like 1200 away from finishing his. And I feel like the Blink Dagger on Collapse plus the Ags on Yatoro are the two big, like, that's the power spike that you're probably going to try to get a little bit more aggressive from Team Spirit's perspective.
For sure. My concern for them right now is we've seen a similar strategy to this being run by IG earlier in the tournament. I don't remember who was on the receiving end of a game where they absolutely stomped, but I don't know how well this dire strategy is going to fare from this far behind. Like, if you're basing your strategy off finding these picks and playing quick, and you have 2 kills after 16 minutes, what could eventually end up happening is that Secret just find their item timings, group up, take Rosh, and then push high ground, and you don't get to play that separation fight whatsoever. Storm Spirit looking for the bottom rune. Will not get it. It was a region top for Nisha, so losing the flip there.
Let me ask you this question. Who do you think there's more pressure on, team-wise?
Secret.
Secret have all these high expectations. They have a lot of veteran players. Team Spirit's just like kind of YOLOing it to some degree. That's kind of how the DC mentality was at TI6, so I can definitely relate to some degree.
I think that's a good thing for Spirit, like that they can just, you know, they can play free. Like we talked about earlier, they've exceeded expectations already, so now, you know, everything is just a bonus and they're just enjoying the ride and doing, like, playing amazingly good Dota for the last couple of days of the main event here. And they're... I feel like the thing about this game for them is they have not had this bad of a start in a single game at the main stage, I think. So you gotta try to find some sort of recovery path. When your team has been used to just having the momentum in all of these games, you're like doing great, you're feeling yourselves, you're making moves, they're just working, and now you're hitting like a brick wall basically 17 minutes in. And here's the play from Secret we were talking about, right? Just group up and take Rosh. Like, what are Team Spirit really going to do about this? Nothing, it seems. They probably know it's happening, but aren't interested.
I mean, this is a pretty slow Rosh based on what some of the Roshes we've seen at this tournament. But regardless, Secret will get it successfully, so that is an Aegis for Matu, who's closing in on, I believe, his Scotty here pretty soon. Yeah. Just a point booster away, essentially.
I think they might go high ground with that, no joke. If he gets Scotty and they just go push top, perhaps they can look to end the game. They don't have to, obviously. It's not a requirement for their lineup, but they do hit a very, very strong timing soon. Zai with the dagger complete. Maybe you wait for the Ags on Void Spirit, but that might not overlap with your Aegis timer anymore then, because he's like 2,000 away. We'll see what the choice is for Secret, but for now, still just very calm. Push in Nisha. Haste goes to Toronto, Tokyo. He does have the Kaya Sanj, so...
And they do have the blink on Collapse, and
Mars.
they have the Ags on Yatara. So
They want to do something here for sure, and there's the smoke. Maybe they'll try to find Matsu. He will have the Aegis, though. And a Zai Magnus covering on the respawn.
Yep, wrapping around the Roche pit. Looks like Zai might be the first one they run into. We're not going to do more Christmas songs here. Zai able to blink out to safety, along with the rest of his team. Is zipping from Toronto Tokyo. He's basically out of mana. Now Zai gets the skewer off, but it's on an illusion. In the meantime, a post-game that gets picked off. There's the big arena coming through with the Earth Splitter to follow Matu. Trying to go on top of Collapse. They'll finally bring him down. The buyback now to the Jakiro. He's going to TP into the outpost. Matu still has that Aegis online. Looks like they're finally going to expend it here pretty soon. Toronto Tokyo might be happy with that engagement as Nisha. Looks like he's going to walk away safely. Matu still has that, or use that Aegis. I mean, not Nisha in the meantime. Looks like they'll pick off Yataro. That is a really big kill, just away from his entire team here. I thought they were going to try to go for the Aegis and then just back off, but couldn't cleanly do so.
Yeah, they couldn't get Spectre out of that trouble in the mid lane, and yeah, effectively what Yatoro ended up doing there was keep the Rubik and Elder Titan at bay for most of the fight, right? But, well, Toronto Tokyo, straight in on Nisha. This
nice spear from Collapse. Can they actually bring out Nisha? He gets off the Dissimulate Nisha. Another Aether Remnant buying him some time, but Toronto Tokyo is going to get Yules immediately and basically out of mana to speak of. And Nisha, Astral Step now for another 4 seconds, actually trying to get aggressive here. Can they go back in? Zai gets in with the huge skewer onto 2, and they bring them down instantly. Team Secret clicking on all cylinders here.
I think it's called firing.
Clicking
on all their mouse buttons, all 2 of them.
Clicking every button on their keyboard as Matu trying to go for this tier 2 tower here top, Cinderin.
It's going to get glyphed off, though. I don't think they're going to get it this time around. And yeah, even though Team Spirit do lose a lot in this engagement overall, which is a very extended one of the kind, at the very least the Aegis is down and Secret will probably not force high ground, but the advantage is building. 7,000 gold lead now. And it just looks like it's going to keep going up unless Spirit can find, again, some sort of picks.
That combo is actually so sick.
The
tower is down, but the TP's coming in, like you said. Matu's in a lot of trouble. So Yataro jump in, but there comes Zai. He gets off the skewer into the telekinesis, but Toronto Tokyo is more than fine. Sunder on his teammate from Matu, trying to keep himself alive. Yaxor stealing the electric vortex, but Matu attempting to TP out. Will he be able to do so in time? Absolutely. Just no damage coming through. Zai uses the RP on the retreat. It's pumping up the right clicks. Toronto Tokyo getting extremely low in the meantime. They take out Io, and it looks like it'll be a trade for Zai's life at the very least, but Nisha's not done yet. He destroys Toronto Tokyo. He has so much mobility to work with. Nope, Dissimulate not online in time. There comes the spear from Collapse. So Spirit at least gets something out of this, but they still lose Toronto Tokyo.
I think Nisha wasn't really expecting that spear to come in there, but Collapse obviously extremely confident on his Mars and caught him before the Dissimulate cast, so they get a nice extra kill there. Actually a really big streak to end Yatoro getting the 700 bonus gold from killing off the, what was that, monster kill streak on Nisha. So a little bit of the first good fight really here for Team Spirit. They doubled their kills from 3 to 6.
I didn't even realize their kill count was that low.
Yeah, it was not looking too hot. And it still isn't, but it's the first step of the way.
Now Collapse jumps in, looking for Yapso. Toronto Tokyo makes his way here as well. They should be able to pick him off. It takes a little bit more effort than you would think, though. Matu pops that meta, going on top of Mira now. Toronto Tokyo picks up the rune, but Mira not able to be saved here. Mapushka, that is the pig pulse Cinder, and I don't think it's going to save him this time. As Nisha comes in to finish him off. He does have the Aghanim Scepter, so Resonant Pulse has 2 charges, does more damage, and more importantly than anything, silences. And the question is, what dispels do they have for Team Spirit? I know BKB is being built for Collapse right now, but still quite a ways away.
It is a big concern for Toronto Tokyo for sure, that he's this far away from solving this Ags. Secret will definitely try to take advantage of this and just look to get on top of him in the fights with Void Spirit. Most of the fights so far that Team Spirit have taken, it's really been Toronto, Tokyo leading the charge, going in first, finding some sort of vortex, and they try to pile onto that. That's very dangerous now if he doesn't see the Void Spirit, because that's an instant counterplay. Even though you have the status resist of Kai Assange, the double silence into RP or some sort of Rubik Lift, Echo Stomp, whatever it is, will definitely kill him off, so has to be very careful with how he approaches this in this game.
Matu
is
closing
so
in on a
rich.
Satanic,
Oh
not
my
that
goodness.
far away. Yeah, can pick up the Reaver here pretty soon, and then just a 1400 Claymore afterwards. I mean, you can see he is top of the net worth by quite the long shot right now. And things right now looking good for Secret, but
Collapse.
All right, we have the skewer in from Zion to Collapse. You can see the Horn Toss as well. Echo Stomp. Look at the layering from Team Secret, just masterfully done. And Collapse will get dropped as a result. Yataro, oh, he actually uses the Haunt. It's reality rifting all over the place. That's definitely not the ability name center. That is not CK, believe it or not. Oh, we have Miposhka's ult coming in from the high ground. Yataro getting extremely low and is brought down again. Just a really weird fight from Spirit there. Looks like Miposhka at the very least will be able to live.
I think they were hoping to find Secret caught off guard there, but again, they're just tight, they're ready. They have the heroes there, and the opening from Collapse just gets instantly countered, and when they try to help him out, it's just not possible. Like, Secret are in a way too strong position there. Very easily make quick work of the Mars, and then Spectre with the Haunt, like you said, maybe a little bit of a misstep. Miposhka?
Yeah, the Horn Toss into the RP. Toronto, Tokyo will be able to get out, and Clash jumps in with a huge arena. Taking out the Rubik to start things out. Matu getting extremely low. The Sunder on his teammate will live as a result. And Zai just burning down to Miposhka's dual breath. So Spirit having a really good defense here as Satanic is picked up by Matu, but he's stuck in a lot of trouble here, Cinderin. And he's going to be brought down as well. Team Spirit, they're not done yet. They have Nisha in their sights, but you can see the silence coming out on Toronto, Tokyo, who's not scared to pursue apparently, but probably should be.
Yeah, Nisha can kill him in 5 seconds here if he sticks around. He is thinking about it. He has some power still. All right, Collapse was looking for him.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
The blind spear, typical.
Oh, sometimes it hits.
For Collapse, it feels like it always does.
Yeah, true. Great fight
Despite
from
that,
Spirit.
yeah, that was a
You
very
fought
good
without
fight.
Spectre there. This was effectively a 4-on-5. Obviously, Secret's hero is not in the best position, and this RP, the Ice Path from Miposhka, just saves everything there. If not for that, that's a dead storm, and they can just start piling on the kills here with the great combination. Another good Ice Path here. Almost clipped Matumba as well. And honestly, in many ways, Secret, that could have even gone worse. Like,
Yeah.
that was pretty close to losing Matu way earlier in the fight, and then they probably just clean up fully. At least now, Team Spirit had to expend quite a lot more resources on him.
Yeah, he reminds me of
I'm
the
a 10
dude.
old.
You've never seen that movie?
Which movie?
The character's named The
I haven't
Dude.
seen it.
Okay, yeah, you didn't even let me finish. Great. As we have a pause here, this is the lower bracket finals, game number 1 between Secret and Team Spirit. And I would say Secret, on paper, is the favorite, but I said that yesterday with IG,
Yep.
and Spirit absolutely destroyed them. Momentum is a crazy thing, something that can't be really quantified, Cinderin.
For sure. Speaking of that, Secret obviously have a lot of it in this game, but that little last fight from Spirit could inspire some hope in them. According to Anki Gaben, a 3-to-1 favor for Secret right now. 75% win probability is what the algorithm gives them right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big moment we're looking forward to in this game is the next Roche, which will largely decide a lot of the potential ending of the game around the 30 to 40 minute mark. And Aegis on Terrorblade going high ground here will be really nasty for Spirit to deal with. You saw how hard it is for them to kill him once. So the second time will prove to be very challenging, but they've done a really good job after a rough start to at least stay afloat. And with the Orchid on Spectre, maybe they have an approach into this game that we should be exploring a little bit more, because he can obviously haunt, and then he can go in and Orchid either the Rubik or the ET. YapzOr's Rubik does have a Ghost Scepter, so he's not going to kill him, but the Elder Titan, he could effectively zone out of the fight pretty much the entire way. Or go on the Magnus as well, would be very strong with the Orchid. So again, for Secret, it's really important to, you know, stay close and and cover each other against this Orchid from the Spectre. Okay, we're paused, Shannon. You know what time it is.
We're not going to be paused for long, Cinderin. It's too late. You had your chance, but you just
trivia
kept
time.
talking.
I get one question. One question.
Okay, go.
What is the name of the passive of Grove Bow?
There is none. It's a trick question.
Incorrect. It's called Magic Amp. It amplifies magic. You know it has a passive.
Wow, that's actually even more boring than I was imagining, and I had low expectations with that question, Cinderin.
Thank you.
Matu in the jungle right now. See, what's next on the list for him? He has the Finnish Satanic that we already saw, has the casual Yasha. Looks like it's going to be BKB.
Radiant's bottom tower
Does he
is
not
under
want
attack.
Manta or even SNY this game?
I think it could make a case for even finishing a late SNY here to get the services, but I think BKB is just more powerful. Oh,
Zai was looking for him.
didn't get the Horn Toss connection there.
Yeah. RP was still on cooldown for 5 seconds.
Maybe he thought he had it.
Seconds here.
Maybe he was trying to RP, but I think he was trying to Horn Toss.
Radiant's bottom
Anyway,
tower is
wasn't
under
going to
attack.
happen. Toronto Tokyo with the fresh BKB as well. Obviously, will be a much harder target for them to lock down now. And for Secret, you have a couple of options. I think primarily
Radiant's
right now you want to
middle
protect the
tower is
Roshan
under
area
attack.
and see if you can farm up the Terrorblade's BKB. If you line those two things up so you have Aegis and BKB going into the next fight, that would be crazy strong. If you aren't able to have both, I think, you know, you could probably have the BKB in the fight will be centered around Roche, so you might need to contest for the Aegis.
Yeah.
So playing your triangle area right now seems very well advised. Just stay here, make sure you get all the camps on Terrorblade, while you keep pushing out the mid lane as well, and just leave bottom lane empty. It doesn't really matter right now at all. They're gonna make their own smoke move though. They're actually not waiting for either the BKB or the Roche. Just going for it here. 30 seconds respawn left on Roche. Maybe they want to find a pick and then try to get Roche off of that. If they do find Yatoro, he will not have buyback, so he would be a huge find, but just barely stayed outside the observer ward that Secret have down there at the secret shop area that sees a little bit into the lane for a little bit of a glimpse there. He went right around it on spec. Or that
Feels like
would have...
Spirit are kind of aware that Secret's up to something. Obviously completely off the map. And Secret don't have vision themselves, so
Roche
probably
has
assuming the same.
spawned.
Second Roche available for the taking, so whoever wins this fight will
get a
likely
shot.
get it. I mean, depending on how many are alive, it'd be pretty difficult to take Roche with either lineup still. Will require Matu at the very least for Secret.
Speaking of shard, keep in mind Rubik bought his. Pretty key item here, I think, to reposition people out of arena. When you get telekinesis, you get height. And if you have height, you can exit the arena, right? So that's why Slark can pounce out of it, for example, or Mirana can leap.
Yeah.
So I believe now any hero on Secret's lineup will be able to exit as long as they are pinned to the wall. Yapzor can toss them out, and that is a huge amount of damage mitigation technically for any hero in his team. So really cool, creative approach to this. We don't usually see him buy shard in this spot. Yapzor will generally buy, you know, bigger items.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that works. We don't get to see that often at all in pro matches.
Dire are scanned.
Toronto Tokyo offering himself up a little bit here, but will back off. You can tell the
tense
tension here.
Oh,
Secret are just staying grouped up as 5 the whole time. And here comes the key item. Matu will be completing the Black King Bar. It's flying out. He sold his one for this. Obviously doesn't need the slot anymore. And they will use this BKB to try to claim Roche. He is so insanely far ahead of everyone else in this game on that Terrorblade right now.
Yeah.
Paladin
5K.
Sword will go to the bank.
All right.
Keeps the Titan Sliver. No surprise there for Terrorblade.
Indeed.
And into the Roche we
Perfectly
go.
crafted for Terrorblade. Yeah, you're right. He's going to attempt to solo Roche for now.
He effectively has double damage when he's empowered with the Titan
With
Sliver.
Titan Sliver, yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
If only he had Shard, it would be even more disgusting in this melee form. But something tells me, Nisha, does he have? He might be taking the Shard off of Roche. Nisha's Shard is quite good.
Spirit know this is happening, and they're planning their way to attack here. They do have Haunt vision, of course.
Not quite in range, but Posha gets off the ice path. Of course, they have some pretty good zoning capabilities here with Poshka's ult. He's going to get initiated on to start with. Toronto Tokyo jumps in with the BKB. Can't really find anybody, though. But Posha gets up to full HP, collapsing a huge arena onto several heroes. But the right click from Matu might be enough for Toronto Tokyo to take a tumble. He gets out just barely with any HP. Yatoro, in the meantime, he's going to take the damage from Matu instead. Nice. Zai gets in with that skewer collapse, taking additional damage here. Roche is going at half HP, so they can't really steal it. As it looks like Yatoro will go down. No haunt available. even if he buys back here. So 2 for nothing as Collapse looks to be the third. Team Secret is doing a really good job of armlet toggling, but not good enough here, Cinder, as Miposhka stuck in harm's way. Zai able to get to safety here for the moment. Dissimulate. Looks like Nisha might go down if they can find a little bit of distance here. Oh, the Sunder from Matu, keeping his teammate alive. Toronto Tokyo gets dropped now. Double kill for Matu. The Sunder on the teammate. That is absolutely huge, and this is going to be a dieback now for Mira. A full team wipe, and Team Secret lost nobody.
And Spirit actually executed that really well, but Secret with the double buybacks on the supports coming back into the fight immediately really helped seal the deal there. Elder Titan and Rubik having a huge impact both on their second lives. The Absol with the stolen ball lightning gets a lot of it. And this opening for Secret actually doesn't work very well. So you commit a lot of spells from Void Spirit. He still gets healed up by there, and here's that amazing arena. But the RP in response from Zai buys enough time that at least the Absol stays alive for a while. And then he will buy back, of course, and reconnect it with all the spells down. This is the kind of situation that Terribly just cleans house in, right? Like, everyone has used all their resources. He still has full HP and mana. They can't deal with Matu at all.
Very elongated fight, and it did require 2 buybacks from Secret, but still only on the supports here. As they're able to claim full set of racks here, in all likelihood. So Team Spirit on the back foot now. 16k net worth lead for Secret. Aegis online. Who got the shard here? It looks like it was Nisha as expected, so the Dissimulate's going to have that extra ring. And it will does more damage too, I believe. Oh, all right. Puppey gets picked off. That's technically a dieback. We'll see if Spirit can actually take advantage of this. Toronto Tokyo has to activate his BKB. Oh, Zai faking out again. That RP is Toronto Tokyo is who they really want. But Nisha will find a collateral in Miposhka. Mira, looks like the relocate will take him back to safety as well.
Yep, so we're going to steal the level 1 Spirit. It's probably the single worst spell he can get in this game, so except Bulwark. Not going to be too happy with that, but yeah, nice pick from Toronto Tokyo. Again, delaying here. They're not going to get pushed without Puppey alive, but still 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis on Matu. You would imagine that Secret just go down mid to top as soon as Puppey is up. Will be the shortest path to attacking these barracks. If you wanted to push in the top lane now, it would take you an extra 10 to 15 seconds, which could make a big difference.
Yep, and Team Spirit have to find a way back in this game. Of course, it is only game 1 of this best of 3, so not a do or die scenario right now. But Matu looks pretty unstoppable. Working on the Silver Edge right now that will likely... Yep. I mean, it could replace the boots or the Yasha, depending on if the Aegis is still in tow. As it looks like Secret is going to smoke up now. And Nisha... Oh.
Okay.
Goes for the Resonant Pulse in mid-ball lightning. Doesn't work that way, sadly. For Secret fans, that is. And Puppey getting harassed a bit. Has the Ghost Scepter to try to live through.
Yep. This could be a really big jump from Zai. Any horn toss on a key target could start off this fight. He'll get it.
There's the horn toss on Collapse. He pops the BKB. RP not going to be expended here. Collapse has to pop his BKB instead. The RP is expended in the end on the single target here. Is Mira getting harassed by Nisha, creating all the space in the world. Collapse is dead, but does have buyback.
He used Arena, though, trying to stay alive, so they know if he buys back, that key ability is not there.
Yeah, but now the smoke up from Team Spirit. Trying to delay. Collapse will almost certainly have to use his buyback here, but like you said, no ult to work with. Maybe even just giving up this second set of barracks here.
It feels nigh impossible for them to kill Matu twice. Their lineup just doesn't have that good single target damage against a Terrorblade right now.
Yeah, meta is almost down though. We'll see if Team Secret want to bide their time here. Still a minute and a half on the Aegis, but that's not really going to align really well for another meta afterwards. And obviously couldn't even go for Megas to begin with because that tier 2 bot still stands. Nisha is actually going for a Dagon. So going for the blow up build. Has the Eon disc, so can survive if he goes. I mean, I've been seeing Nisha do this a lot where everybody goes in with, like Zai jumps in, for example, picks one person off, brings them back into the fray, and then Nisha goes in the front line and just goes for the supports and makes sure that creating all this havoc that they can't even do anything about.
I think that's one of the biggest strengths of this hero in general, is just control, right? Like we talk a lot about Void Spirit's ability to kill single targets with all the damage from Astral Step and the Resonant Pulse and the whole combo, but in a lot of situations, if you're in a game where you don't need to specifically kill heroes all the time, the zone control from this hero is incredible. You create so much chaos, the AoE silence, he has the Yules that he can now start potentially using offensively because he has Disc.
Yeah.
It just makes things so easy for the Magnus and Terrorblade to set up kills in the meantime while he just controls basically the entire enemy team.
So kind of a big deal if there ends up being a fight in the next 3 minutes, but Courier was just killed for Toronto Tokyo, and that had the point booster on it.
Yeah.
And he has enough to finish the Ags, but obviously cannot combine it. So, I mean, that is a game-breaking spell to not have, or upgrade, I should say, with the Electric Vortex AoE. And Secret should have some idea that that is the case here. It's Matu. Pretty much ready to go here. Meta's up in 10 seconds. Looks like he's going to be working on, I don't know if they're going to get to this point, but consuming an Ags of his own to get that extra meta time and the Fear addition. But yeah, 2 racks advantage for Secret, and they are looking very, very good in this game number 1.
Yeah. Can choose to stall for the next Roche. Early respawn is in 2 minutes, but they've scanned out Yatoro. If Nisha finds him here.
Oh, Nisha. Oh, they're in the area. He gets off the Spectral Dagger, though. They're going to see him. The Yules into the Aether Remnant to follow. He gets off the Hot, though. Realitying all over the place. Gets silenced for the time being. Silenced the second time. Zeit not able to connect on the Skewer. As Collapse even pops a BKB. Matu gets off his meta in the meantime. They're trying to go for the Spectre. The break is there from that Silver Edge. And Nisha not going to be able to connect on a kill here, but they do make Spirit use a lot of resources to try to defend here. There's the Horn Toss. Mapochka is going to get dropped immediately. Toronto Tokyo pops the BKB. Just has no damage to work with now. And this turns into a 5v4 as Matu just hitting the buildings. Going for the Mega.
Still have all their spells except Elder Titan ulti, so the RP is still in play. Zai as well as Nisha's discs are used now, but they're gonna get Megas off this. Spirit just aren't ready to fight.
So Mega defense attempt here from Team Spirit. Oh, the Horn Toss from Zai, and I would assume the RP to follow here pretty shortly. Looks like they'll have enough damage. Yatoro gets off the Manta for now. Looks like he's going to live for a little bit longer. The Yules from Nisha in the meantime. But the Fade Bolt on the other side takes out Yatoro. And it looks like this is going to be a Game 1 victory for Secret here, Cinderin, as they are looking extremely warmed up in this game number 1.
Yeah, this game has just not really been close except 1 or 2 fights where Spirit lined up everything perfectly. And YapzOr now finally gets the dream steal of the game. I don't know if this is the first time in the game he's had it. It kind of feels like it, but has that level 4 Ice Path with maxed out Arcane Supremacy, effectively turning this into, what's that, over a 3-second stun. Instant
Toronto Tokyo showing off the act, but the instant telekinesis. Up there, doing a lot of damage to Zai. Looks like he's going to be dropped down in the end, but Secret getting the better of this exchange as Matu pops a BKB, just going absolute ham on Collapse. There's the Ice Path again. GG's is called. Cinder and Secret take game 1 in convincing fashion.
Yeah, they did, especially what really set up for this huge lead for Secret, just the way the first 5 minutes